This is the King Crimson structure deck. It features Jack Atlas's signature monster, Red Dragon Archfiend, in its various forms from Yu-Gi-Oh! 5Ds and Yu-Gi-Oh! Arc 5. Today, we are going to be opening this structure deck and reveal its content. Now, I know you guys are going to be asking me this, hey Tom, can you make a deck profile featuring this and showing us how to play it? Yeah, I'll do that. This one time, I'll do it, but can you do something for me? Go to the like button, hit that button, and hit the subscribe and ding that notification bell. Really appreciate that. And just as a heads up, I am going to be featuring this deck in a more competitive form, so you have been warned. It's going to be pushed towards competitive play, but don't worry, I'm still going to stay true to this theme's key strategy, so this is still a Red Dragon Archfiend deck. And so here it is, the structure deck. Let's crack it open. The box feels a little bit smaller than before, so maybe there's something different about it. Of course, I think we're going to start off by getting this game mat. So this is likely going to be on the structure deck public events rubber game mat, you know, the prize for it. Let me just get this folded up. There we go. This would look pretty sick on a mat. Okay, so here are the cards. Let's get a good zoom. And we have Soul Resonator at the very first card. It's the Ultra Rare. I think all the foils are in the front. So let's unwrap this one. Alright. First card. Soul Resonator. This is a very important new card. And on normal or special, add a level 4 or lower fiend monster from your deck to your hand. But you cannot special summon monsters from the extra deck for the rest of this term except for Dark Synchro monsters. Alright, that's fine. That is a very easy thing that I can abide by. If a card you control would be destroyed by card effect while you control Red Dragon Archfiend or Synchro monster, I mentioned it, you can banish this card from the graveyard instead. So this one can substitute destruction, which is also very good. So tuner monsters, after they synchro off, you know, having a graveyard effect is also really good. We have Vision Resonator, another really awesome monster, another very key one here that, you know, facilitates the new strategies. We have Vision Resonator. If in level 5 or higher dark monsters on the field, you can special summon this card from your hand. You can only special summon out Vision Resonator once per turn this way. And if this card is sent to the graveyard, add one spell or trap card that mentions Red Dragon Archfiend from your deck to your hand. So another way to get more Red Dragon Archfiend card, so you can add the spell traps. There is a new spell trap that's really good in here, and there's one spell and one trap that I'm really looking forward to playing. We have Red Dragon Archfiend, ultra rare, okay. Red Rising Dragon. I'm so glad they made this one an ultra rare, because this is going to be one of the key cards you play with in this particular deck. This is a 3-up easily in the deck because you're going to be using this a lot, because this card isn't really once per turn, so you're gonna be synchro climbing like crazy. Oh look, our very first human monster. Okay, well this is not a playable card, but it does have 3000 attack, and you know, it's level 0. It's Jack Atlas. It tells the story right here in the content box, so that's really cool. Red Supernova Dragon. This is the monster that you're going to be trying to summon every game. You want to put this on the field, and you're going to basically cycle this card more or less non-stop as much as you can, thanks to the new trap card. So keep that in mind. This is a must play because it's very crucial that you can use this more or less as a continuous board wipe against your opponent. Then we have the effect locker, Hot Red Dragon Archfiend, King Calamity. If you manage to synchro summon this card, well, you get to lock your opponent out of playing cards, which is pretty good. And this is the new card. This is Scar Red Dragon Archfiend. This card is very good, I think, because, well, it counts as Red Dragon Archfiend in the field or graveyard, but if you do send this to the graveyard, you get to summon out Red Dragon Archfiend straight from the extra deck, which allows you to just have another level 8 body onto the field, so more monsters for you to play with. I think now we're going into the common cards. So these are some of the new cards here. So the first one here is Bone Archfiend. Now to break down this card's effect, you know, if this card is your hand or graveyard, you can send one other card from your hand or field to the graveyard, special summon this card. So this card gives you a little bit of cycling, the additional level 4s. Not to mention it is still 1800, so you can use it to push for a little bit of damage. But more importantly, you get to manipulate levels by targeting a card on the field or monster that you control, and you can send a Fiend Tuner from your hand or deck to the graveyard and increase that monster's level by 1 or decrease it by 1, but you get to send a Fiend Tuner, and then that's how you kind of synergize it with, say, the Vision Resonator or some other awesome Fiend cards that you can use. Then we have Dark Resonator. This is a classic. We have Creation Resonator. If you control level 8 or higher Synchro monster, you can special summon this. And then I think this one here is Synchron Resonator. I think it's like a better version of Creation Resonator because it just does more and kind of does the same thing. If there's a Synchro monster on field, you get to special summon it. We have Red Resonator. We've seen this in Sprite decks. We have Crimson Resonator. This is one of the most important cards in the entire deck, because this one is the one that summons out more of your monsters out from your deck, as long as you control exactly one Dark Synchro Dragon monster paired to this one. And this one's pretty easy to summon out also, because if you control no monster, you can special summon this card from your hand. And if you control only a Dark Synchro monster, special summon up to 2 Resonator monsters from your hand or deck, except for Crimson Resonator. Of course, you cannot special summon monsters from the extra deck except for Dark Synchro monsters the turn you activate this. So keep that in mind. But this card is really crucial, especially when you start with a level 4 monster, and then you synchro this card into a 6 going into Red Rising Dragon. Red Rising Dragon special summon this card back from the graveyard, and then you can activate the effect because you have a Dark Synchro Dragon. So that's one of the key parts here. Vice Dragon as a level 5 Dark monster. We have Battle Fader, Red Sprinter. Of course, most of these cards are Fiends. We have Red Warg, more Resonator support, and Wandering King Wildwind. This is a reprint, and this is the card that gives you a follow-up and additional free summon. So speaking of a level 4 monster that you can get, if you control a Fiend monster with 1500 attack or less, or Fiend Tuner, you can special summon this card from your hand. It does lock you into only special summoning synchro monsters for the rest of the turn, but you know, if this card is in the graveyard, you can banish it and add a Fiend monster, or Fiend Tuner. I gotta say Fiend Tuner here with 1500 attack or less, so it helps you get back more of your Resonator tuners. So this is an easy 3-up because it's a free special summon and provides you with follow-ups the turn after, and it acts as a level 4 synchro material. We have Phantom King. So, these are all kings. Wandering King, Phantom King, Hydride. We have Magical King, Moonstar. Absolute King, Backjack. Those are all the king monsters. We have Red Dragon Archfiend, Assault Mode. Oh, this one is a classic. I haven't seen this in a long time. Assault Beast. That means we also get Psy Reflector. Those two combo hand in hand. Fire Ant, Ascanter. And we have Ascanter Dawnwalker. Danger Nessie. We got a reprint of Danger Nessie. We have Danger Chupacabra. It is a Fiend monster, and it does special summon back, I believe it's Fiend monsters as well, so you just have a lot of options here. Witch of the Black Forest. Absolute Power Force. Quick play spell. Target Red Dragon Archfiend. This one provides you with a lot of benefits when you attack. And then we have Crimson Gaia. This is a 3-up in the deck if you can get your hands on it. During your main phase, add a Red Dragon Archfiend or a card that mentions it from your deck or graveyard to your hand. It's like, how do you add a Red Dragon Archfiend to your hand? Well, more or less, you're just putting it back into the extra deck, okay? So that's what you're really doing. And most of these synchro monsters, they count as Red Dragon Archfiend. I believe Scar Red does count, and Scarlight also counts as well. And yeah, this one is just a really good card. It's consistency. More or less, a feature functions like a Tenki. Resonator Engine, Resonator Call, being able to add one, and you can play more than one per turn, which is really, really awesome. It makes deck building a lot easier. Resonator Command, Burning Soul, Pot of Extravagance reprinted, okay. Fiendish Golem, this is a new card. This one functions like a disruption. Well, it acts as a banish till the end of your opponent's next end phase for a monster with 2000 or more attack. But if you control Red Dragon Archfiend or a card or synchro monster that mentions it, you get to set a Fiendish Chain directly from your deck or graveyard. This is like that statue in the middle of Fiendish Chain, all right, and makes sense. Okay, cool. Red Zone. This is one of the scariest cards in the deck. When they get to the Red Zone setup, a lot of these decks these days, they have some way to kind of recur monsters and do something else. This is that card for the Red Dragon Archfiend. When your opponent activates a card or effect while you control Red Dragon Archfiend or a synchro monster that mentions it, target one card on the field and destroy it. So you get to destroy cards. Not only that, you get to target one of your banished Dark Dragon synchro monsters and special summon it. And because you can do that once per turn, you get to special summon back your Super Red Nova Dragon and use that as a board wipe again. So you can use that to cycle a board wipe and get an additional destruction on the field. So more or less, Super Red Nova Dragon plus this card, it counts as 3 levels of disruption. King Synchro, Red Rain, Time to Stand Up, Fiendish Chain, okay, we're Powerful Rebirth, Assault Mode activate, of course, Terrors of the Overroot, I mean, this one is a very powerful card, and we have Scarlight, Red Dragon Archfiend, Hot Red Dragon Archfiend Abyss, Hot Red Dragon Archfiend Bane, and Red Nova Dragon. One YCS Vancouver later, and here we are. I laid out my entire deck list in full so you guys can see and give you guys the context. I want to focus more on the combo, the 1-card combo, the 2-card combo. That's insane. So here's the entire deck list. We already explained most of these cards during the opening. So we have triple Soul Resonator, 2 Vision Resonator, triple Crimson Resonator, and 2 Synchron Resonator. Those are the ones I choose to play, and then they can be searched out through Resonator Call, 3 copies because they're not once per turn. Great consistency. Then we have triple Crimson Gaia. Crimson Gaia can add a Red Dragon Archwing from the deck or graveyard back to the hand, or any card that mentions its name. So that would include Soul Resonator, it would include Fiendish Golem, and Red Zone. Now as for the Fiend based monsters and access into the additional synchro material that are non-tuner, we have the Bone Archfiend and the Wandering King Wildwind. This will also help you, give you follow-up. And then we have the Supe Dustwalker. This will be the way for quick access into the Red Rising Dragon, because this is a Fiend based tuner, so that meets the condition, and Supe summons it out straight from the deck, so that's why it's really easy. And then one of the most important extender of the entire deck, that's gotta be this camel looking monster. We have the Obsessive Vualoop. This is a level 4 Fiend tuner that can be sent to the graveyard. There's lots of graveyard synergy, which is why we play cards like Foolish Burial, and that's what Bone Archfiend is really, really good at. And then we have triple Tactics Talents. We have triple copies of Ash Blossom Joy Spring for hand-based disruption. We have Call by the Grave to stop our opponent's hand-based disruption or monster effects. And then we have our final 3 of spell cards. We have the triple Pot of Prosperity. This stuff here is actually not in my deck. This is actually my extra deck, but a card that I want to talk about would be Burning Soul. If you want to focus more onto Hot Red Dragon King Calamity, you will use Burning Soul as one of the options. You can also try out Assault Synchron. As for the trap cards, we have triple Infinite Impermanence. We have 1 Fiendish Chain because we play the Fiendish Golem. And if you're able to reset the Fiendish Golem because of the effect of Crimson Gaia, being able to add it back to your hand from the graveyard, then you get to reuse your Fiendish Chain. So I think if you can establish control and under a simplified gameplay, maybe these will do a lot of work for you. And also the Unchained monster from Duelist Nexus, they are 2000 attack, so this is going to definitely fit the criteria for a Fiendish Golem. And we also have Red Zone. This is more or less your way to feel like you have a card similar to Branded Regain and Branded Beast in one, as this one has Special Summon and Destruction based effect attached to it. And this is my current extra deck: triple Red Rising Dragon, 1 Koi Belt, the Blade Dragon, 1 Hot Red Dragon Archfiend Abyss, Hot Red Dragon Archfiend Bane, and 1 Super Red Nova Dragon. And then at the bottom line, we have Red Dragon Archfiends, Scar Red Dragon Archfiends, we have 1 Scarlight Dragon Archfiend, and we have 2 Bestial Dissipator and 1 more copy of Hot Red Dragon Archfiend King Calamity, just in case we want to push for damage. So let's go into the combos. So this is the 1-card combo. None of these cards will help you combo with the Soul Resonator except for being a discard fodder at some point, but this is the 1 card. This is the basic line of play in case you only have Soul Resonator. You deal over 9,000 damage, destroy your opponent's all their attack position monster, and set up a negation and a destruction. So here we go. Starting off with a normal summon Soul Resonator, activate the effect, add Bone Archfiend. We're trying to set up the Red Rising Dragon right now, so we're going to activate Bone Archfiend, send away our Infinite Impermanence, something like that, and special summon out the Bone Archfiend. Through its effect, we're going to reduce the level down of our own Bone Archfiend to 3, and that also puts into the graveyard a Fiend-based tuner. And that's going to be Crimson Resonator. That's going to be really important now. We're going to synchro into a 6 now. Synchro 6 into a Red Rising Dragon. Effect, target our Crimson Resonator, special summon that back onto the field, and we're going to activate the Crimson Resonator. The condition has been met, only 1 Dark Synchro monster is on the field. We're going to special summon 2 more Resonator, a Vision Resonator, and a Synchron Resonator. We don't need the Soul one right now because we already used the effect. Otherwise, Soul would have been a priority, and then you can use that to add the Synchron Resonator. From here, we want to synchro further now. We're going to put the Vision and the Red Rising into the graveyard, synchro summoning into the Scar Red Dragon Archfiend. This one provides you with an additional level 8, so you can actually make more monsters from this field. This particular synchro summon will put the Vision Resonator in the graveyard, adding us to our hand a Crimson Gaia. I'm just going to finish up the Crimson Gaia line first, so we're going to activate the Crimson Gaia to add a card that mentions Red Dragon Archfiend, and that's going to be the Red Zone for me. Or it could be the Red Golem if you already had, or it can be the Fiendish Golem if you already have it in your hand. So we're going to set this card onto the field, which is going to be the Red Zone. We're next going to synchro summon out our Hot Red Dragon Archfiend using the Synchron Resonator, and that's going to be this one. This is going to cause a 2-part chain, so it's going to be Chain Link 1, Scar Red Dragon, Chain Link 2, Synchron Resonator. We're going to add back Vision, since Vision can summon itself out from the hand. So Scar Red Dragon's next, and we're going to summon out the Red Dragon Archfiend. At this point, if your opponent has any attack position monster, they would be attempted to be destroyed. And if you put Scar Red Dragon as Chain Link 1, it's going to be a lot harder to negate. They need to protect their monsters rather than to negate it, because you did establish a Chain Link 1 and 2, and the last thing was the Synchron Resonator. Now from here, you can special summon out the Vision Resonator. If you play Burning Soul, you can set the Burning Soul at this point. You can pass turn. Red Dragon will attempt to destroy your own card, so be very careful about that, but you can protect it with Soul Resonator as it protects your monsters from being destroyed, or rather it substitutes that destruction with itself by banishing it. It also works for your own cards. And if you want to push this play further, you want to go for over 9,000 damage instead, then what we're going to do is we're going to continue synchroing, and this one is going to go into Hot Red Dragon Archfiend Bane. So synchro into a new 10, and we can activate Hot Red Dragon Archfiend Bane, tributing our Crimson Resonator and summoning back one of our Red Dragon Archfiend monsters, which will be Scar Red. And from here, we have over 9,000 damage. We have a negate. We do have another disruption from here in the red zone, and that's more or less it. So this is the 1-card setup. Combo number 2, we have Crimson Resonator and Bone Archfiend. All right, here's how the combo starts off. We're going to activate Crimson Resonator, special summon itself out because we don't control any monsters. And then we're going to normal summon out Bone Archfiend. From here, we're going to synchro summon. Since we already meet the 6th threshold, we're going to special summon Red Rising Dragon. Effect, summon back our Crimson Resonator, activate the effect of Crimson Resonator, and we're going to special summon Vision and Soul. Soul's going to activate, and we're going to add to our hand a Synchron Resonator. We can just special summon it right away. It doesn't really matter at this point. And also remember, this particular card is not once per turn to add more cards back, so it will come up in the future. Just keep that in mind. From here, we're going to synchro straight into a 9. That's going to be Hot Red Dragon Archfiend Abyss. And then we're just going to get rid of it into Abyssal Dissipator. The reason for that is so that we can put the Synchron Resonator into the graveyard and add back the Soul Resonator, which we're also now just going to put right back into the graveyard for a Bone Archfiend to special summon itself, which is why we normal summon it ahead of time. From here, we're going to activate the Bone Archfiend, and we're going to reduce the level of the Crimson Resonator down to 1. So this is 1, but that as a part of that, we get to put the Obsessive Loop into the graveyard. And now we can activate the Obsessive Loop, put it back into our hand. We're going to banish the Hot Red Dragon Archfiend, which in turn, Abyssal Dissipator can special summon it back onto the field, which is quite nice. So for now, we have, a 4 and 2. So we're going to synchro these two, and we're going to go into a Red Rising Dragon. Again, now this is not once per turn, and we'll also put Vision Resonator into the graveyard. Chain Link 1, I would say Vision Resonator. Chain Link 2, Red Rising Dragon. Special summon back our Synchron Resonator. And from this particular point, Vision Resonator did activate, so we're going to get the Crimson Gaia. Activate Crimson Gaia, get the red zone. Special summon out the Loop by activating the effect, banishing the Red Rising Dragon. That's right, it has 2 banish base effect off of synchro monsters. Now this is a tuner, so this is a 4, 1, and this is a 1. Remember, we reduced it, and then we have another 6. So this is a total of 12 with 3 tuners. So we synchro it off once again, and we get into Red Supernova Dragon. This card cannot be destroyed by card effect, which is also quite nice. And the effect of Synchron Resonator is going to activate when we can add to our hand. We can basically just get back our Vision, or we can get our Soul back. So, for me, I'm just going to grab the Soul, and I'm going to set the red zone. In this particular case, you have a level of negation and disruption or destruction because we have one of our own banish cards that can be put back. We have a Red Supernova Dragon that's going to be able to banish your opponent's entire field. We have a negation, and you can't even really get hit by a Dark Ruler no more. If they try, they activate, you chain your trap card just to activate it, and then you can chain Hot Red Dragon targeting that particular Dark Ruler. So it makes it a lot more difficult for your opponent to try to play around it simply just using a Dark Ruler. And this is the 2-carder. And that's all I got for the Hot Red Dragon Archfiend, the Crimson King structure deck. This is my version, sponsored by Konami. And well, that's all I got. So make sure you guys hit that thumbs up. But if you guys enjoyed learning about the combos, giving you guys a starting point, and if you guys want to see more stuff from MST.TV, breakdowns for the recent YCS, hit that thumbs up button, hit subscribe, ding that notification bell, and I'll see you all in the next one.